Hello all, welcome to oodlescoop tutorials. In the previous video we had seen how to create a JFrame. Today I'll be showing you how to create and put some components on this frame and make it visible. So this was the code that we had written earlier. Now if I run this application, it is going to show a frame with no components. Now let me create one component to this, add it to the frame and show. So I'm going to create a J label. As it is a book manager application, I'm going to create certain fields. First, to start with, the book name is equal to new J label book name dot set text, and the text that is to be displayed. Now I'm going to add this to the frame. Okay, now if I run this application, it is going to set the label to the frame, but what I have to do is I'll have to add and place more components to it. So I'm going to say set the layout manager to null, and here I am going to set the bounds of the component. Now here you are seeing x, y, width and height. X is the x-axis, y is the y-axis of the frame, and the width and height is of the component. So what I'm going to do is, first initially I am going to place x and y at 10, 10, and width I am going to make it as 100 pixels and height is going to be 30 pixels. Now I'll add a text field. Book name is equal to new J text field, and book name dot set bounds. Here again it is going to be x, y, width and height. So as I have to align it with the J label, I am going to maintain the y component as it is. I am just going to increase the x component. So how I'll increase the x component is, I have to place it after this particular pixel, that is the width of the previous component, which is 100. So I'm going to add some padding to it, and I'm going to maintain at 120 pixels. This is going to be again aligned with my y-axis. The width and height of the component I am going to maintain as the previous component. Now I'll add it to the frame and see if the output is rendering according to the desired output. Yes, this is what we had expected. So I'm going to add 3 more fields to it. Label author is equal to new J label author dot set text author set bounds. Now what I have to do is I have to place this particular label just below the book name, which means that the component x is going to remain the same, whereas y only I am going to increment it. So I am maintaining this at 10, and as the height is 30, I am going to add a little bit of padding to it, and I am going to make it as 40. It is 100 and 30 again. I'm going to add one more field, text field, author is equal to new, j text field, author dot set bounds. This again I have to align it with the previous text box, so it is going to be 120, but the y component is going to be 40. The width and the height remains the same as the previous components. Again I'll add j label ISBN is equal to new, j label ISBN dot set text ISBN of the book to be entered here, ISBN dot set bounds. So as we all know, x component should remain the same as the previous component, and y is going to be adding 30 pixels after 40, which is going to be 70 pixels. We can even make it 80. So 100 and 30 will be the width and height of the component. I am going to add the respective text field to it. ISBN is equal to new, j text field ISBN dot set bounds. The set bounds is going to be maintained at 120 and 70 for this component. The width and height is going to be as the previous components. Again, label publisher is equal to new, j label, so new j label LBL publisher dot set text publisher, and I'll have to place it below the ISBN. So publisher object dot set bounds. So set bounds, again my x component is going to be similar to the previous one, and the 70 plus 30 is going to be at 100. The width is 100 and height is going to be 30. J text field text publisher is equal to new, j text field publisher dot set bounds. So set bounds is going to be at 120, 100, 100 and 30. So I'm going to place all these components onto the frame dot add one after the other. I have book name, I have to place the author next, frame dot add text author, after author it is frame dot add label ISBN, frame dot add text ISBN, after ISBN it is going to be frame dot add publisher and frame dot add text publisher. So these are the components that I have to add it to the frame. Let me run and check if the components are properly added to the frame. The 4 labels and the 4 text box are added to the frame now. Now let us go back and place a button just below the text field. So I'll have to create button submit is equal to new JButton dot set text submit dot set bounds. As I am aligning it with the text boxes, I am going to have 120 comma 140, which is the y component, 100 and 30 will be the height and width of the component. Now if I run this, as you can see that I have created the button object, but the button is not rendered onto the frame, which means that I have not added this button object to this particular frame. Frame dot add button submit. Now this adds the button to the frame, which completes the design of my frame. Well, I told you that we have to set the layout manager. Now let us see what if I do not use this, how the components will be placed on the JFrame. See, if I run this application, it is going to render the component, as you can see somewhere in the background, but the entire component is loaded with the component that I added the last, which is going to be button submit. Now in order to make all the components visible, I'll have to set the layout. So that is the reason I have used the set layout, but I have set it to null. So which means that I have not used any inbuilt managers, that is layout managers, to align the components onto the frame, but aligning will be taken care by the set bounds itself. So if I run this application now, it is going to render the frame components as required. Now I'll show you one more small thing. So there are, if you do not want to use set text, you can just comment it and give the submit the text here itself, because JButton has a constructor that will take string as an argument. The same thing will go with the label as well. So what I can do is I can add the string type to this constructor, which will create the same effect as adding to the setText method. Now see, with no changes, it has been added. So this is for the today's tutorial. In tomorrow's session, that is the next session, we are going to see the action listener for this button. So on click of a button, there should be some operation that should be performed, and let us add a few functionality to this particular JFrame. So if you have liked this video, please like and share this video. Subscribe to our channel for more videos. Please visit our website www.oodlescoop.com for more content. The link to the website is given below, and more tutorials are available in the website. Thank you.